Admiral Jack Harrison sat quietly at the long metal table. The room was huge and cold. 12 different alien species filled the chairs around him. Their eyes, tentacles, and crystal faces all stared at him with the same look. They thought humans were weak. Dr. Lisa Carter sat next to Jack. She was the only other human in the room. Her hands were folded on the table. She looked calm, but Jack knew she was angry inside. They had been here for 3 days. 3 days of listening to the aliens tell them what humans had to do. The Xerian ambassador, Krell 9, clicked his mandibles together. His insect-like face showed no emotion, but his voice was full of pride. The terms are simple, human. Your species will give up 80% of your colonies. You will allow our ships to patrol your space. You will report all military movements to this council. Jack did not move. He had heard these demands before. For 3 years, he had sat in rooms like this one. For 3 years, he had tried to find a way to make peace. The aliens always wanted more. They always thought humans would give in. High Counselor Vex spoke next. The crystal being's voice rang like bells in the cold air. Your species is young and foolish. You have expanded too quickly. You have claimed too many worlds. This council will teach you proper behavior. The other aliens nodded. The fish-like Aquarians bubbled in agreement. The tall, thin grays made soft, humming sounds. The rock-like Titans simply stared with their glowing eyes. They all thought the same thing. Humans were nothing special. Jack looked at each of them slowly. He had studied these species for years. The Xerians were strong fighters, but not very smart. The Ethereals, like Vex, were old and wise, but too proud. The Aquarians were good at building things, but afraid of war. The Greys were excellent with technology, but weak in battle. The Titans were tough, but slow to act. Admiral Harrison, Krell 9 said, you have been quiet for too long. Do you accept our generous terms? Jack stood up slowly. He was not a tall man, but something about the way he moved made the room go quiet. Even the Titans stopped their low, rumbling sounds. I want to thank you all, Jack said. His voice was calm and friendly. For 3 years, you have shown us exactly who you are. You have shown us what you think of humanity. You have made your position very clear. Dr. Carter smiled. It was a small smile, but several aliens noticed it. They did not understand why she looked happy. We came here hoping to find friends, Jack continued. We hoped to find species who wanted to work together. Instead, we found beings who want to control us, who want to make us weak, who think we are nothing but children who need to be taught lessons. Krell 9's mandibles clicked faster. You speak as if you have a choice, human. Your fleets are small. Your weapons are simple. Your colonies are scattered and weak. You need our protection. Protection, Jack repeated the word slowly. Is that what you call it? Vex's crystal body began to glow brighter. Your species has the arrogance of youth. You think you can stand against civilizations that have ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. You are wrong. Jack reached into his jacket and pulled out a small device. It looked like a simple data pad. He placed it gently on the table. What is that? Asked the Aquarian. Representative, her gills fluttering nervously. Coordinates, Jack said simply. Places you might want to visit. Things you might want to see. Consider it a gift from humanity to the Galactic Council. Dr. Carter stood up and began packing her papers. Her movements were quick and efficient. She had done this before. Where are you going? Krell 9 demanded. We have not finished our negotiations. Jack looked at him with eyes that seemed suddenly older. Yes, we have. We are finished negotiating. We tried to be reasonable. We tried to find a middle ground, but you do not want peace. You want submission. You cannot simply leave, Vex said. The crystal being's voice was no longer calm. "You must accept our terms. You have no other choice." "There is always another choice," Jack said. He walked toward the door. Dr. Carter followed him. "You are making a mistake," called out the gray representative. "Your species will not survive alone. You need us." Jack stopped at the door. He turned back to look at the aliens one last time. "You know what the funny thing is? We really did want to be friends. We really did want to find a peaceful solution. We spent 3 years hoping you would change your minds." "Then why are you leaving?" Crow 9 asked. "Because," Jack said, "we have been preparing for this day since the moment we first met you. We hoped it would not come to this. But we are not surprised that it did." Dr. Carter opened the door. As she walked through it, she said quietly, "You should have accepted our friendship when we offered it." The aliens sat in confused silence as the 2 humans left. They had expected anger. They had expected begging. They had expected humans to act like every other weak species they had conquered. Instead, they got calm acceptance and something that felt almost like pity. Crow 9 looked at the data pad on the table. "Should we examine this device?" "It is probably nothing," Vex said. "Humans are known for their crude technology. They are trying to make themselves seem important." But even as the crystal being spoke, alarms began to sound throughout the space station. The automated systems were detecting something unusual. Energy readings were spiking across multiple star systems. Ships were moving in the darkness between worlds. The Titan representative, who had been silent the entire time, finally spoke. His voice was like grinding stone. "I think we may have made an error." Outside the station, human ships were already jumping to hyperspace. Their crews worked with calm efficiency. There was no panic, no fear, no anger. They had jobs to do, and they were going to do them well. Admiral Harrison sat in his command chair as his ship moved through the void. He looked tired, but not defeated. Dr. Carter sat beside him, reading reports on her tablet. "How long do you think it will take them to figure it out?" she asked. Jack looked out at the stars. "Not long enough." In the distance, something very large was beginning to move. Something that had been waiting in the darkness for a very long time. Something that would change everything the galaxy thought it knew about humanity. The peace talks were over. Now came the part the aliens had never expected. Now came the part that would teach them what humans were really capable of when diplomacy failed. War leader Krell Prime stood on the bridge of his flagship. The massive Xerian warship was one of 50 ships in his attack fleet. Behind him, hundreds more ships from different alien species were gathering. The largest fleet in galactic history was preparing to crush humanity once and for all. "Status report," Krell Prime ordered. His voice was deeper and more dangerous than his ambassador brother, Krell 9. "All ships are in position," his tactical officer reported. "The human colonies are evacuating their civilians. Their military ships are pulling back to defend their core worlds. They are acting exactly as we predicted." Krell Prime clicked his mandibles in satisfaction. Humans were behaving like every other weak species the Xerians had conquered. They were running scared, trying to protect their families instead of fighting smart. On the crystal world of Ethereal Prime, Elder Vex Harmony floated in her meditation chamber. She was old, even by ethereal standards. She had lived for 3,000 years and seen the rise and fall of dozens of species. Something about the humans troubled her, but she could not say what. Young Vex knocked on her chamber door. "Elder, the fleet reports are ready. The humans are in full retreat. Victory will be swift." "Show me their evacuation patterns," the elder said. Young Vex projected holographic images into the air. They showed human ships moving people away from the outer colonies. The ships moved in organized groups, following careful plans. "They are very organized for a panicking species," Elder Vex Harmony observed. Does it matter? They are still running. Away, the elder studied the patterns more carefully. These movements are too clean, too prepared. It is as if they planned this evacuation long ago. You worry too much, Elder. Humans are weak. Our intelligence reports prove this. But Elder, Vex Harmony had learned to trust her instincts over 3 millennia. Something was wrong about this picture. Meanwhile, Aquarian exploration ships had reached the coordinates the humans left behind. Captain Bubblesinger commanded the lead vessel. Her people were naturally curious, and mystery coordinates were too interesting to ignore. What do you see? She asked her science officer. Empty space, Captain. But there are strange energy readings coming from several points in this system. Define strange. The readings suggest massive construction projects, but we see nothing on our screens. Captain Bubblesinger moved closer to investigate. As her ship approached the first coordinates, something incredible happened. A huge structure slowly became visible. It looked like a space station, but it was bigger than any station she had ever seen. By the deep currents, she whispered. How is this possible? Captain, I am detecting more structures. They are everywhere in this system. Some of them look like shipyards. Others appear to be research facilities. How long have they been here? The energy signatures suggest decades, Captain. Maybe longer. Captain Bubblesinger felt a chill run through her gills. Send a priority message to the fleet. Command, tell them we have found something important. On the gray homeworld, Intelligence Director Smoothmind was reading reports with growing concern. The Greys were the best information gatherers in the galaxy. Their spy networks reached every corner of known space. But the reports about humans made no sense. Director, his assistant said, we have intercepted more human military communications. What do they say? They mention something called Project Pandora, and they keep talking about sleeping giants. What are Project Pandora and sleeping giants? We do not know, Director. These projects do not appear in any of our intelligence files. Smoothmind felt uncomfortable. The Greys knew everything about everyone. If they did not know about human projects, those projects were hidden very well. There is more, Director. We have detected human ships moving in areas where we thought there were no human bases. What kind of ships? Unknown designs. They do not match any human vessels in our databases. This was getting worse. Smoothmind had been confident that the Greys knew everything about human military capabilities. Now he was discovering that humans had ships his people had never seen before. On the Titan homeworld, Deep Stone Commander sat in his war room. The rock-like being was older than mountains and just as patient. But even he was beginning to feel disturbed by what he was learning. Commander, his aide reported, our deep space sensors have detected movement in the void between galaxies. What kind of movement? Something large, Commander. Very large. It appears to be heading toward Xerian space. How large? Preliminary readings suggest it might be bigger than a moon, Commander. Deep Stone Commander had never heard of anything that size moving through space. Ships could be large, but moon-sized objects did not simply travel between star systems. Are you certain of these readings? Yes, Commander. Other Titan sensor stations have confirmed the detection. Back on Krell Prime's flagship, the war leader was reviewing the final attack plans when his communications officer interrupted him. War leader, we are receiving strange reports from exploration teams. What kind of reports? The Aquarians found hidden human structures at the coordinates the humans provided. The Greys report detecting unknown human ship designs. The Titans claim something huge is moving through deep space. Krell Prime waved his claws dismissively. Fear makes people see things that are not there. The humans are trying to confuse. U.S. with fake signals and hidden bases. But even as he spoke, more reports were coming in. Human colonies that appeared empty were showing signs of recent massive construction. Star systems that intelligence had marked as uninhabited were displaying energy signatures that suggested major industrial operations. On Earth, in a hidden command center deep underground, General Maya Brooks watched screens showing the alien fleet movements. Her staff worked quietly around her, monitoring communications and tracking enemy positions. General, Science Officer Jake Murphy reported, all Pandora sites are reporting ready status. Sleeping giants are responding to wake-up calls. Admiral, Harrison and Dr. Carter are safely back from the peace talks. Good, General Brooks said. How long until the alien fleets reach attack positions? 72 hours, General. And how long until our preparations are complete? 48 hours, General. We will be ready before they arrive. General Brooks nodded. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment. They had hoped it would never come, but they had never stopped getting ready for it. Send a message to all human forces, she ordered. Operation New Dawn is now active. It is time to show the galaxy what we are really capable of. Across human space, hidden facilities that had been disguised as empty asteroid fields began to power up. Ships that looked like simple cargo vessels revealed their true nature as advanced warships. Colonies that appeared to be mining operations opened up to reveal massive weapons platforms. Elder Vex Harmony felt the disturbance in the cosmic flow before any of her instruments detected it. Something fundamental was changing. The careful balance of galactic power was about to shift in ways that would shock everyone. Young Vex, she called to her assistant, cancel my appointments. We need to contact the other elders immediately. What is wrong, Elder? I fear we have made a terrible mistake. The humans are not what they appear to be. They never were. The calm before the storm was ending. Soon, the galaxy would learn the truth about humanity. Soon, every species would understand why the humans had been so willing to walk away from. The peace talks. The greatest revelation in galactic history was about to begin. Captain Sam Torres stood on the bridge of the Iron Will. His ship looked like an ordinary human cargo vessel from the outside. The alien fleet approaching them probably thought it would be an easy target. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Captain, his weapons officer Kate Sullivan called out, enemy fleet is dropping out of hyperspace. 50 ships in the first wave. They are moving to attack formation. Let them get closer, Sam said calmly. We want them to see everything clearly. On the Xerian flagship, War Leader Krell Prime watched his screens with satisfaction. One small human ship was sitting alone in space. It had not even raised its shields or powered up weapons. This is too easy, his tactical officer said. Why is that ship not running away? Because humans are fools, Krell Prime replied. Fire on that vessel. Show them the price of defying the Xerian Empire. The Xerian weapons fired. Massive energy. Beams that could destroy a city struck the Iron Will directly. The alien crew expected to see the human ship explode into pieces. Instead, something impossible happened. The energy beams hit an invisible barrier around the human ship and simply disappeared. The Iron Will sat unchanged, as if nothing had touched. What just happened? Krell Prime demanded. Our weapons had no effect, War Leader. The human ship appears to have some kind of advanced shielding. Impossible. Human technology is primitive. Captain Torres smiled as he watched the alien fleet react to their failed attack. Kate, I think it is time to show them what human engineering can really do. Engineer Kate Sullivan had spent 20 years working on projects that other species sighed were impossible. While aliens stuck to their old ways of building things, humans tried new ideas that seemed crazy. Most of those ideas failed, but some of them worked better than anyone expected. All systems ready, Captain, Kate reported. Reality anchors are online. Gravity manipulation is stable. Quantum disruptors are charged. Execute demonstration protocol. Sam ordered. The iron wheel suddenly moved in a way that broke every known law of physics. It accelerated instantly to impossible speeds, then stopped just as quickly. It spun around 3 enemy ships so fast that it seemed to be in multiple places. At once, on the Xerian flagship, chaos erupted. "How is that ship moving like that?" an officer shouted. "Our sensors cannot track it properly," another reported. "It is moving faster than our targeting systems can follow." War leader Krell Prime felt fear for the first time in his military career. All ships, open fire. Destroy that vessel now. Hundreds of alien weapons fired at once. The space around the iron will lit up with enough energy to destroy a small moon. When the light faded, the human ship was still there. Not only was it undamaged, but it had somehow moved behind the alien formation without anyone seeing how. Captain Torres opened a communication channel to the entire alien fleet. His face appeared on every screen in every ship. "Attention, alien forces," he said in a calm, friendly voice. "I am Captain Sam Torres of the Human Federation Navy. I want to explain something to you." "You will surrender immediately," Krell Prime broadcast back. "Your tricks will not save you?" Sam smiled. "Tricks? Is that what you think these are? Let me tell you a story about human engineering." As he spoke, more human ships began appearing around the alien fleet. They seemed to materialize out of empty space, as if they had been invisible moments before. "For the past 100 years," Sam continued, "other species have told us that certain things were impossible. They said matter cannot move faster than light without hyperspace engines. They said energy shields cannot be perfect. They said gravity cannot be controlled. More alien weapons fired. This time, something even stranger happened. The energy beams curved around the human ships and struck other alien vessels instead. The alien fleet was accidentally shooting itself. We listened to what you said was impossible," Sam went on. "Then we decided to try it anyway. See, humans have this habit of not accepting that something cannot be done." Admiral Ryan Foster's voice came over the communication channel from his command ship. "Captain Torres, please continue the demonstration. Our guests seem to need more convincing." "Yes, sir," Sam replied. The iron will fired a single weapon. It was not a laser or a missile. It looked like a small ball of twisted space. When it hit a Xerian cruiser, the massive warship simply folded in half and disappeared. What was that weapon? Krell Prime demanded. Engineer Kate Sullivan answered over the communication channel. "We call it a reality anchor. It makes a small area of space remember what it was like before your ship was there." Intelligence analyst Ben Clark appeared on screen next to the other humans. "War leader Krell Prime, our records show that your species considers humans to be primitive and weak. Our records also show that you have been planning to conquer human space for 3 years. Your intelligence is wrong," Krell Prime said, though his voice was less confident than before. "Actually, our intelligence is perfect," Ben replied. "We have been listening to your communications since you first discovered our existence. We know every plan you have made. We know every weapon you possess. We know every weakness in your fleet formation." As if to prove his point, human ships began targeting specific points on alien vessels. They were not trying to destroy the ships, just disable them. With perfect accuracy, they hit weapon systems, engine controls, and communication. "Arrays, this is impossible," the Gray Fleet commander transmitted. "How do you know exactly where to hit our ships?" Dr. Lisa Carter's face appeared on the communication screens. She looked exactly as calm as she had during the peace talks. "Because we have been studying you for much longer than you have been studying us. while you were making plans to attack. U.S., we were learning everything about you. More human ships continued to appear. The alien fleet was now completely surrounded by vessels that moved like nothing they had ever seen before. Admiral Foster took control of the communication channel. Attention all alien forces. You came here expecting to fight primitive humans with basic technology. Instead, you have discovered that everything you thought you knew about humanity was wrong. How is this possible? Elder Vex Harmony transmitted from her crystal ship. Our intelligence reports showed human technology was centuries behind ours. Your intelligence reports showed exactly what we wanted them to show, Admiral Foster replied. For 100 years, humanity has been following a simple strategy. We made ourselves look weak while we became strong. We made ourselves look stupid while we solved problems you thought were impossible. Captain Torres fired another reality. Anchor weapon. This time, he aimed it at empty space. Suddenly, a massive alien battleship appeared out of nowhere. It had been hidden by cloaking technology, but the human weapon had forced it back into normal space. We even know about the ships you think we cannot see. Sam said. War leader Krell Prime realized that his fleet was completely outmatched. These humans were not the weak prey species he had expected to hunt. They were predators who had been pretending to be prey. Retreat, he ordered his fleet. All ships, retreat immediately. I am afraid we cannot allow that, Admiral Foster said. You see, you know too much about our real capabilities now. We cannot let you return to your homeworlds and warn others. The human ships moved to block every escape route. But they did. Not fire to destroy. Instead, they used their strange weapons to disable every alien vessel completely. Do not worry, Captain Torres said. We are not going to kill you. We are going to take you home and have a conversation with your leaders. A very different kind of conversation than the one we had at the peace talks. As alien crews sat helpless in their disabled ships, they began to understand the terrible truth. Humanity had never been weak. They had been playing a game that was so far beyond alien understanding that no one had even realized a game was being played. The hunters had become the hunted, and the humans were just getting started. Director Alex Morgan stood in the control room of the largest structure ever built by any species. The space station was so massive that small ships looked like insects flying around it. For 50 years, it had been hidden in empty space, invisible to all alien sensors. Now it was time to reveal humanity's greatest secret. Director, his assistant reported, all stealth fields are powering down. We are becoming visible to galactic sensors. Good, Alex said. Make sure every species in the galaxy can see us clearly. Across the galaxy, alien astronomers watched their instruments in shock. Structures larger than moons were appearing out of nowhere. Places that had been empty space yesterday now contained massive human installations. Dr. Rachel Stone worked at her laboratory inside one of these hidden megastructures. She had spent 30 years solving problems that alien scientists said could never be solved. While other species accepted limitations, humans refused to believe anything was truly impossible. Dr. Stone, her research assistant, called. The production facilities are all online. We are ready to begin full-scale manufacturing. Rachel smiled as she looked at her latest creation. It was a ship engine smaller than her hand, but it could power a vessel the size of a city. Human engineering had finally broken free from the restrictions that held back other species. Begin production, she ordered. We have a lot of catching up to do. On the Galactic Council Station, emergency meetings were happening in every conference room. Representatives from dozens of species were trying to understand what they were seeing. The humans had revealed technology that should not exist. Ambassador Krell 9 sat in his chair, mandibles clicking nervously. His brother's fleet had been completely defeated by a single human ship. Now massive human structures were appearing throughout the galaxy. "How many of these installations do the humans have?" asked the Aquarian representative. "Our sensors detect at least 50 major structures," the Gray intelligence officer reported. "But there may be more that we cannot see yet." 50? The Titan delegate's rocky voice rumbled with concern. "How long have they been building these things?" "Energy analysis suggests some of these structures have been operational for decades," the Gray continued. "The humans have been planning this for a very long time." Elder Vex Harmony floated in the center of the room. Her crystal body was dim with worry. "We have been deceived on a scale that none of us thought possible. The humans made us believe they were weak while they became the most powerful species in the galaxy." Colony Coordinator Ellen Hayes appeared on the main communication screen. Behind her, thousands of human workers were busy at massive construction projects. The scale of human preparation was becoming clear to everyone watching. "Greetings, Galactic Council," Ellen said pleasantly. "I thought you might like to know what we have been doing while you were making plans to invade our space." She gestured to the activity behind her. "This is construction site Alpha 7. We have 43 sites like this one spread across the galaxy. Each site can build 1,000 ships per day." The aliens stared in horror. 1,000 ships per day from 43 sites meant humans could build more warships in a week than most species had in their entire fleets. "But that is not the interesting part," Ellen continued. "The interesting part is that we have been building these ships for 20 years. Would you like to guess how many ships we have in storage?" No one wanted to do that math. "We also have mining operations on planets you thought were uninhabited," Ellen went on. "We have research facilities in star systems you never explored. We have supply bases in locations you considered impossible to reach." Director Alex Morgan took over the communication. "The truth is simple. While you were arguing about how to divide up human territory, we were preparing for the war you were planning to start." "This is impossible," Krell 9 protested. "Our intelligence networks would have detected such massive operations." "Your intelligence networks detected exactly what we wanted them to detect," Alex replied. "We have been feeding you false information for decades. Every spy you sent to human space was actually working for us." The Gray intelligence director felt sick. His entire career was built on knowing everything about everyone. Now he was learning that everything he knew about humans was a lie. "How?" he asked weakly. Dr. Rachel Stone appeared on screen next to Director Morgan. "It is really quite simple. While your species were content with the technology you already had, humans kept experimenting. We tried things you considered too dangerous. We attempted projects you thought were impossible." She held up a small device. "This is a cloaking field generator. Your scientists said such a device would require a power source the size of a star. They were wrong. It just required thinking about the problem differently. We have been hiding our ships, our bases, and our people right under your noses," Alex added. "The human refugees you thought were fleeing from your threats were actually scouts, setting up forward positions throughout your territories. On dozens of worlds, alien populations watched in amazement as human bases became visible for the first time. The bases had been there for years, hidden by technology that alien science insisted could not exist. We placed these facilities near your most important worlds," Ellen explained. "Not to threaten you, but to study you. We wanted to understand how your societies worked. We wanted to learn your strengths and weaknesses." War Leader Krell Prime, still trapped in his disabled flagship, finally understood the scope of human deception. "You have been planning this since first contact." "Actually, we started planning this before first contact," Alex corrected. "You see, humans learned a long time ago that the galaxy is a dangerous place. We decided that if we were going to survive, we needed to be ready for anything." "But you offered us peace," Elder Vex Harmony said. You spent 3 years in negotiations. We genuinely wanted peace, Alex replied. Peace is always better than war, but we are not naive. We prepared for war while hoping for peace. When you made it clear that you would not accept anything less than our surrender, we moved to our backup plan. Dr. Rachel Stone activated another device. Suddenly, alien communication networks across the galaxy went silent. Every species found that they could no longer contact their homeworlds or their fleets. We control your communications now, she explained. We control your transportation networks. We control your power grids. While you were studying ways to attack us, we were learning how to defend ourselves by taking control of your infrastructure. The aliens realized they were not just facing a more advanced military. They were facing a species that had infiltrated every aspect of galactic civilization while remaining completely undetected. What do you want from us? Krell 9 asked desperately. Director Morgan looked directly at the camera. We want exactly what we asked for in the peace talks. Respect for human sovereignty. Recognition of our right to exist as equals. An end to your plans to conquer and control us. But now the terms are different, he continued. Before, we were asking nicely. Now we are in a position to demand. Ellen Hayes smiled. The funny thing is, we never wanted to be the strongest species in the galaxy. We just wanted to be strong enough that no one would try to push us around. Well, Alex said, it turns out that being strong enough to not get pushed around means being stronger than everyone else. The communication ended, leaving the Galactic Council in stunned silence. Outside their station, human ships were appearing in formations so large they blocked out the stars. The species that had dismissed humanity as primitive and weak were now completely at their mercy. Ambassador Krell 9 tried to contact his homeworld, but his communications were blocked. He tried to send a message to other Xerian fleets, but those networks were down too. Humanity had cut off the entire galaxy from itself in a matter of minutes. Elder Vex Harmony finally understood why her instincts had warned her about the humans. They were not the prey species everyone had believed them to be. They were apex predators who had been hiding among sheep, waiting for the right moment to reveal their true nature. The balance of galactic power had not just shifted, it had been completely reversed. And the humans were just getting started with showing the galaxy what they were really capable of. President Maria Lopez stood at the podium in the newly built Galactic Assembly Hall. 6 months had passed since humanity revealed their true capabilities. The galaxy had changed completely. Where alien warships once patrolled human space, now human vessels protected trade routes and defended peaceful worlds. The audience before her was very different from the old Galactic Council. Representatives from every species sat quietly, waiting to hear what humanity's leader would say. There was no arrogance now, no dismissive clicking or crystal song mockery. Fear and respect had replaced contempt. Admiral Jack Harrison sat in the front row. The man who had walked away from the peace talks was now the most respected military commander in the galaxy. Former enemies sought his advice. Species that had planned to destroy humanity now begged for his protection. 6 months ago, President, Lopez began, this galaxy was preparing for a war that would have destroyed millions of lives. Today, we have peace. Not because anyone surrendered, but because everyone finally understands the cost of conflict. In the audience, former war leader Krell Prime shifted uncomfortably in his chair. His mighty Xerian empire was now under human protection. Raiders from the Galactic Rim had attacked Xerian colonies 3 times in the past month. Each time, human. Ships had arrived to drive them away. The old system was built on fear and dominance, President Lopez continued. Strong species bullied weak ones. Advanced civilizations conquered primitive ones. Everyone lived in constant worry about who might attack them next. Elder Vex Harmony listened from her floating platform. The ancient ethereal being had lived through the rise and fall of many galactic powers, but she had never seen anything like humanity's transformation of galactic politics. "We offer something different," the president said. "Protection for all who want to live in peace. Cooperation instead of conquest. Shared growth instead of zero-sum competition." Dr. Peter Williams sat in the observer section, recording everything for his historical archive. The human historian had spent the past 6 months documenting how quickly the galaxy had adapted to its new reality. Species that had been enemies for centuries were now working together under human guidance. "Some of you wondered why we hid our true capabilities for so long," President Lopez said, looking directly at the alien representatives. "The answer is simple. We wanted to understand you before you understood us." She pressed a button, and holographic displays showed the galaxy as it was 6 months ago and as it was today. The difference was remarkable. Trade had increased by 300%. Conflicts between species had dropped to almost zero. Scientific cooperation had reached levels never seen before. "When we first met other species, we made a choice," the president explained. "We could reveal our strength immediately and rule through fear. Or we could learn about the galaxy, find out who could be trusted, and build something better." Captain Sam Torres stood guard near the entrance to the hall. His ship, the Iron Will, was now the flagship of the Galactic Protection Fleet. Pirates and raiders, who had terrorized the rim worlds for centuries, were learning to fear the sight of human vessels. "We chose to build something better," President Lopez said, "but we also prepared for the possibility that others would not allow us to do so peacefully." Ambassador Krell9 raised one claw hesitantly. The Zirian who had once laughed at human weakness now spoke with careful respect. "President Lopez, what assurance do we have that humanity will not become like the old empires? What stops you from conquering us all?" The president smiled. "An excellent question, Ambassador. The answer is that conquest was never our goal. Control was never our desire. We simply wanted to be left alone to live our lives and explore the universe." She gestured to Admiral Harrison. "But when it became clear that we would not be allowed to live in peace, we took steps to ensure our survival. Those same steps happened to be very effective at ensuring everyone else's survival too." Admiral Harrison stood and addressed the assembly. 6 months ago, many of you saw humans as weak prey that needed to be controlled. You planned to divide our worlds among your empires. You thought we would be easy to defeat. The alien representatives looked uncomfortable. Their old plans seemed incredibly foolish now. "Today, you know the truth," Harrison continued. "Humanity is the most powerful military force this galaxy has ever seen. We could conquer any world, defeat any fleet, control any species." The hall was completely silent. "But we do not want to," Harrison said simply. "Conquest is expensive. Control is exhausting. Ruling over others who do not want to be ruled creates nothing but problems." Engineer Kate Sullivan watched from the technical section. Her innovations had given humanity the power to reshape the galaxy. But the real achievement was not the technology. It was convincing former enemies to become allies. "Instead," Admiral Harrison continued, "we offer partnership. Work with us, and we will protect you from those who would harm you. Trade with us, and we will share technologies that will improve your lives. Respect our sovereignty, and we will. Respect yours." But his voice became harder. "Threaten us or our allies, and you will discover exactly why we spent a century preparing for war." Former war leader Krell Prime stood up slowly. The proud Zirian warrior looked very different from the confident commander who had led the attack on human space. "Admiral Harrison," he said, "my species owes humanity a debt we can never repay. You could have destroyed us for what we tried to do. Instead, you saved us from raiders who would have enslaved our colonies. You saved yourselves, Harrison replied. When you chose to accept our offer of alliance, instead of continuing to fight a war you could not win. Colony Coordinator Ellen. Hayes appeared on the communication screen from one of humanity's massive construction facilities. Behind her, workers from dozens of species labored together on projects that would benefit everyone. The galaxy is changing, she reported. Former enemies are now partners. Species that never trusted each other are sharing research and resources. We are building a future that works for everyone. Dr. Rachel Stone joined the communication from her laboratory. Human technology is being shared with allied species. Not our most advanced weapons, of course, but innovations that will improve life for billions of people. President Lopez returned to the podium. The choice before us is simple. We can have a galaxy based on cooperation and mutual benefit, or we can return to the old ways of fear and conflict. She looked at each alien representative in turn. Humanity has shown that we can win any war that is forced upon us, but we would rather build peace than fight battles. The question is, what do you choose? Elder Vex Harmony spoke for the first time. Her crystal voice rang with ancient wisdom and new understanding. For 3,000 years, I have watched empires rise and fall. I have seen species conquer and be conquered. I have never seen anything like what humanity has accomplished. You have taken the greatest military victory in galactic history and turned it into the foundation for lasting peace. This is wisdom beyond your years as a species. Ambassador Krell 9 clicked his mandibles in agreement. The Zerian Empire formally accepts humanity's leadership in galactic affairs. We pledge our fleets to the defense of peace. One by one, every species in the assembly made the same pledge. Some did so eagerly, grateful for human protection. Others did so reluctantly, recognizing they had no choice. But all of them understood the new reality. President Lopez smiled as she watched. Former enemies become allies. Then let us build the future together. A future where no species needs to fear conquest. A future where strength protects the weak instead of preying upon them. As the assembly ended, Admiral Harrison walked outside to look at the stars. Human ships patrolled the space lanes, keeping peace where there had once been constant threat of war. It was not the future humanity had planned, but it was a future they could live with. The galaxy had learned that underestimating humanity was the greatest mistake anyone could make. But more importantly, they had learned that humans preferred to use their strength to build rather than destroy. The age of human dominance had begun not with conquest, but with the offer of protection. And for the first time in galactic history, that offer was strong enough to actually keep the peace.